Well, then, I am going to officially kick us off as soon as I hit send on this email to Mary Sue, who's having a little bit of technical problems with the sound. So, all right. So, welcome everybody to the fourth rollout of Giants fifth grade. Tonight, we are going to be covering Unit 5. And Unit 5, if I pull open our pacing view off of the website here, Unit 5 is the road to revolution. So those of you who are looking for, where's the French and Indian War? Where are where's the lead up to the Revolutionary War? It is in this particular unit. And we will do a little bit, just so you know, this is a full unit that really hits the lead up to and the French and Indian War itself. And then after this unit, when we come back together in early March, we'll do Unit 6, which starts off with Unit 6 is, I believe, a 4 lesson unit. And it starts off with the things that I think many of you will be expecting to see more in depth tonight than we're actually going to go. And we'll get into things like the various acts and how the colonists reacted to them. We're going to introduce them in this unit because again, you're probably not taking a break between a unit to teach something else, although some of you might be. So we're going to start that conversation in 3 of this unit, and we will continue it in lesson 1 of unit 6. So as far as what you're going to see tonight, let me go into our overview document. Our compelling question for this unit is centered around how does conflict create change? And you could almost lift this compelling question and put it smack dab in the Revolutionary War as well. We use a slightly different question in the next unit, but the next 2 units, our compelling questions are really about change and how conflict can sometimes breed change. And these are 2 fairly big conflicts that we're going to look at both in this unit and next that had a lot of repercussions for us even through to today. So, content wise, we're looking at the 3 ones. If you are following your content expectations verbatim, we're looking at most of the 3 ones with a couple of those creeping up again in the next unit as well, along with the 3 2s on the Revolutionary War. So, getting into the individual lessons, our first lesson is going to be basically introducing this idea of, conflict and how it can shape a country.
Mhm.
And the supporting question for this first part is what set the stage for and triggered the French and Indian War? So, lesson 1 is really going to be leading up to the Revolutionary War itself. I'm sorry, the French and Indian War itself. We're going to get a little bit into what else has happened in the colony since last we were in there. And we're going to go through some of these activities in just a few minutes. And then when we get into lesson two itself is going to start to actually outline the war itself. And you'll get some background information on some of the indigenous nations, which Phil is going to do out of context. We just put Phil all in one big block here. So when Phil does that, I'll make it a point to let you know that this is the activity that comes from lesson 2 when we get there. And then it's going to take you through some of the famous figures, and 2 in particular that were selected because of their importance to some activities that are going to come up in lesson 3 as well. And then we'll get into the war itself. So there's lots of good stuff in here. For those of you who love the French and Indian War, I loved teaching the French and Indian War as part of my 8th grade class as review when I would do the review unit prior to kicking off my actual content expectations. I liked starting there because those 2 wars together do a nice job of sort of framing the headspace we were in. I launched my Constitution unit as an 8th grade teacher. So, and then the final lesson in Unit 5 kind of brings the war to the close. We'll talk about the Treaty of Paris. We're going to highlight some stuff with the Treaty of Paris tonight. And then we're going to get into, the preview of the stuff that will continue in lesson one of unit 6 next time that we're together, that really gets into colonist sentiments after this war is over and how Great Britain tries to pay for said war. So all of this is the focus of about, again, 6 weeks worth of instruction. And to kick us off tonight, I'm going to start by kind of showing you a few of the activities that, well, not a few of the activities. I'm going to kick it off tonight by sharing with you the basic overview using where'd it go? I have too many tabs open. I'm feeling like I work for the Department of Ed right now. There is a movie trailer here for something called The War That Made America. And this is a microsite that goes along with your local PBS station. So I got asked if Detroit is mine. Technically, Central Michigan is mine, and I could change that here. But I'm not going to show this trailer here as part of this because I do not want another copyright issue with YouTube here. But we link you out to this site that used to have the full episodes archived here. Now you pretty much just have the trailer. So you've got access to the trailer. And I recommend using that as one of your starting activities for this unit, is actually showing this trailer and saying, we're moving into a time of conflict in US history, and we're going to talk about two different wars over the next few months, and both of them are big and both of them had major repercussions for us overall. So recommend that you show that to your students as part of your intro activities. And of course, we also are still giving you the supporting and compelling question posters that you can have up in your room. I like these again in lieu of I can statements, because sometimes an I can statement in social studies is a little bit less than we would like to see. I would recommend having your compelling question one up for the whole unit. So, how does conflict create change would be up for your whole unit. And then as you move through each lesson, put underneath it the supporting questions. And we have, again, linked them back to content expectations if you have administrators that are looking for those things. So lesson 1 is what set the stage for and triggered the French and Indian War. Lesson 2 is what shaped the progress and outcome of the French and Indian War. And lesson 3 is going to be how did relations change with Britain and France after the French and Indian War. So if you're detecting a theme here, it's intentional. We're doing that on purpose because this whole unit is about, you guessed it, the French and Indian War. So as far as activities go, I'm a little bit ahead of schedule because we didn't do a major welcome because we kind of need to dive into the content. So I am going to stop sharing my screen. And even though it's a couple of minutes later, I'm going to turn things over to Phil, who I know will fill his time and my little bit of extra if he needs it. So, and if he doesn't, then we're out a few minutes early tonight. So Phil, why don't you take it away? Phil's going to run us through the next couple sets of activities here.